One of my most anticipated games of the year, Stalker 2, has now been delayed to Q1 2024. It also just got a new trailer that looks like a bit of a visual downgrade compared to the previous trailers, and a 15-minute demo is being played at Gamescom with impressions being posted online. Hey guys, LevelCap here, and I sincerely hope that Stalker 2 isn't beginning to stumble. The company developing it seems like they've been through hell, having to literally move their studio due to the war in Ukraine. They even lost a developer who died in a battle near Bakhmut while defending Ukraine. At this point, I think everyone would understand if they needed more time to finish and polish Stalker 2, beyond Q1 2024 that is. Sadly though, that's not always an option due to, well, funding and publishing deals. With all that said, I'm probably going to be buying Stalker 2 regardless when it comes out. I'm just such a big fan of the originals that I'll play anything that even resembles those first games. And of course, I really hope they are able to ultimately deliver a worthy product. Now, originally the game was slated for a December release. In fact, Steam still has it listed as December 2023, but the new trailer announces at the end that it's slated for Q1 2024. Now, the original Stalker games are some of the most hardcore and beloved survival games of all time, so naturally there's a lot of hype for an official sequel, and the trailer that GSC Game World dropped about 7 months ago showed gameplay that looked like it was definitely living up to players' expectations. Running on Unreal Engine 5, the Come To Me trailer shows incredible atmospherics of the dilapidated zone with beautiful lighting and visual effects. However, the trailer that was released today shows very little of that original beauty. The shadows and lighting look almost flat by comparison, the textures look simpler, and the lush atmospherics just aren't quite hitting like they did before. And gamers are certainly picking up on that. Here's some comments just from YouTube. Visually looks awful, such a shame, had high hopes for this one, but that's Xbox for you, I suppose. This game looks so cheap. This game doesn't even look that good. Downgraded. Looks laggy at 50 seconds in. I see the graphics got downgraded. Looks worse than when it was originally announced. Why do I have a feeling like the game got downgraded? I just asked the same question. Because it did. Looks like a mod for Stalker 1 Anomaly. At 42 seconds, it looks like a PlayStation 4 game. I'm fine if they delay it for 1 entire year or more. Better have a great working and looking game than something that was cut together. Now, digging into it further, it looks like this trailer is made from the first 15-minute gameplay demo that's being shown at Gamescom right now. Everything that was described as being played in the demo is what this trailer is showing. I'm not at Gamescom myself, so I can't play the demo and see how it actually feels, but I did read every article and little snippet that I could find about it. IGN probably had one of the more level-headed responses to it. They said the gameplay still seems a bit early, they have a ton of polish to do, the AI was not easy, they flank and they rush you, it's extremely difficult like the first game, ammo management, one badly timed reload could mean your death, they got attacked by wild dogs, they got attacked by people, they experienced a crazy red storm event, and despite some of the polished stuff, they're actually more excited to play it than they were before, so that's actually a pretty positive take. PC Gamer noted that there was a compass with an actual quest marker on there, which they weren't a huge fan of just because it took away from some of the more natural approach to the game. They mentioned that bolts let you temporarily weaken anomalies to pass through some of them. Then they said, elsewhere Stalker 2 looked good, sure, but utilitarian. It's post-apocalypse. The buildings are concrete and rubble, the vibes are gray and dour, but here, amid the alien red glow of an emission, it feels like they're making the most of the Unreal Engine 5. Xbox Wire had a very game journalisty take on it that was just a lot of fluff writing, but it said that the game looked great. I found a few other random posts from people who played it at Gamescom saying that the game actually looked really good. According to Reddit, people think that DXR was actually turned off for the demo, aka ray tracing, which would explain a lot of the flatter looking presentation compared to the earlier trailers. Hopefully that's just a temporary downgrade and that they plan to re-enable that option with more optimization. As people mentioned in the trailer, it did look like it was lagging at certain points. worlds. The many previous videos shown showcase incredible visuals that are more in line with what people expect from Unreal Engine 5. Unfortunately, what's all too common these days with promoting games is that early trailers are being rendered with all of the visual settings cranked to the max, and then when the devs actually have to make the game playable, those effects are scaled way back. No Man's Sky and the original Watch Dogs are two very well-known titles that did a lot of this. I would imagine at least some of that is going on here, but with the delayed release, I hope that gives them enough time to figure out ways to turn some of those settings back up. If the base game assets are quality, then it can always be pushed further as they figure out better render pipelines and tricks, or even faster hardware is released. Sadly, Unreal Engine 5 is not a golden ticket to insane visuals. It might have the capabilities to render photorealistic scenes, but doing so at 60 frames per second while also running tons of world and game code in the background is a completely different story. One thing to remember is that the original Stalker game was janky and not perfect. It featured some impressive visuals for the time, but the gameplay was rough around the edges, as was most of the overall game and presentation. The mod that most people are playing today, Stalker Anomaly, contains a lot of hard modding work to fix and improve aspects of the game. I am trying to temper my expectations for Stalker 2, but I also know that I'm absolutely going to be playing it when it launches. I think if you're a Stalker fan, you kind of have to at this point. Also, atmospherics come down to a lot more than just ray-traced lighting, and even playing Stalker Anomaly has better atmospherics than most modern games. The gray weather and the punishing environment makes it feel more real than other games, and it seems very likely that we're going to get a lot more of that with Stalker 2. The gameplay impressions from people actually at Gamescom do instill a bit more confidence in the project than the latest trailer does. And the fact that it's actually playable right now for a full 15-minute demo, which has been described as being pretty darn open world, people have been impressed by just how little the demo actually limits you, is a good indicator. That means they aren't necessarily rushing to get it working, but more rushing to polish the game. I think Stalker 2 still has the potential to be a runaway hit, and I'm excited for people who never experienced the first ones to be thrown back into that punishing and oddly intoxicating world. Now, for those of you who had December circled on your calendar as Stalker month, well, it sucks that you're going to have to wait a bit longer. I'm in that camp with you. In the meantime, though, I highly recommend, one, playing Stalker Anomaly and slapping on maybe with the Gamma mod on there, which is just an incredibly punishing but also super immersive experience. And if you're looking for even a little more depth, you can go back and read the book Stalker. It's an incredible novel, one of my favorite sci-fi books of all time, I think. There's some nuanced differences between the book and the game, like there's some alien stuff in the book versus the game, which is more Chernobyl radiation zone, but it is extremely good, so I recommend doing that in the meantime. Let me know what you think about these developments in the comments. And up next, if you want the best possible game audio, which is sure to be important with Stalker 2, check out this video here talking about the ways to get the best possible game sound, also at pretty affordable prices. As always, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.